Other than the topic of where to get your protein, the either first or second other question is, what's this I hear about oils? I thought olive oil was the answer to all problems, and every health expert in the world wants us to add coconut oil to our coffee and our smoothie. And it's really, when you got to read the science, because there's anybody's an expert any day when they have Facebook or Twitter or they write a blog, and it simply isn't true. And I've recently published in the Huffington Post about coconut oil specifically, but these are all processed foods. You're not eating a coconut, you're eating only the fat of a coconut, and in fact, the highest concentrated saturated fat food I know of, 94% saturated fat. Palm oil is about 85%. Not even a burger has that much saturated fat. When you're talking olive oil, you've stripped, olives are awesome, but you've stripped out all the fiber, you've stripped out many of the nutrients. All you did was take the fat of the olive, and there's way more than fat in an olive. There's carbohydrates, there's protein, and you've concentrated to eat only the fat. Now, it's hard, but it's possible to get true extra virgin olive oil. It has antioxidants. It has some other ingredients that can be good for your arteries, but you can get those as a vitamin. If we eat blueberries, you get way more antioxidants than olive oil at a fraction of the calories with all the benefits of fiber and other nutrients. So olive oil is a processed food, needs to be understood as a processed food, and even in my touring of Italy and other Mediterranean countries, things are not drenched in olive oil. There may be exceptions to that. In the island of Crete, they have a pretty high olive oil diet, but it's right from the tree to your table, and it just doesn't exist in the United States. It's a very processed food. It's been sitting around a long time, and it may not even be extra virgin olive oil. When you look at scientific studies, there's no doubt the higher your diet is in saturated fat, the more you increase the risk of both Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, and probably higher fat diets, diabetes type 2, adult diabetes. And coconut oil just simply doesn't have any data that it's good for you. Now, a study that reports maybe saturated fat isn't as bad for arteries as we thought, and these studies are flawed, but that's what the conclusion is, does not mean you should add saturated fat via coconut oil, palm oil, extra meats, and olive oil. Olive oil is about 15-16% saturated fat. They never recommend, the actual articles never recommend adding these foods to your diet, yet the headline is saturated fat is healthy for you, and that confuses the public. So if you just look at artery function, my specialty, and you take a healthy person and have them drink a lot of olive oil, their arteries will malfunction for 4 or 5 hours before they return to health. They may actually malfunction with coconut oil longer until the next meal. So I strive in my own life to eat a very low added oil diet or none. In my restaurant, we have a very extensive no added oil choice, honoring the diets of Dr. Neil Barnard, Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. Dean Ornish, Dr. John McDougall, and on and on. And I prefer to eat that way. I find the food actually tastier when you haven't drenched it and stir-fried it in oils. It tastes more natural and more flavorful. And it's better for you, plus just the calories. 75% of Americans qualify as overweight or obese. Oil is not necessary in the diet. Your apple has fat, your orange has fat, your beans have fat, and that's all you need. I add ground flaxseed in to make sure you're getting what are called omega-3 fatty acids. That's all you need. Walnuts have omega-3 fatty acids. So just say no to oil, and you'll see your waistline come down, your blood sugar come down, your arteries plump up, and it's a good way to deal with it.